Hi, I'm the inventor of the Samchillian Tip 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 Cheeepeeeee. The Samchillian Tip 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 Cheeepeeeee is a keyboard MIDI controller that's based on relativity. The key presses are not fixed pitches as they are on a normal keyboard, but rather changes the pitch. Let's take a look at how the Samchillian works. So, on this keyboard, each key is not a fixed pitch, the same note each time you hit it. Each key on this keyboard changes the pitch by a fixed amount. For example, this is the +1 key. So each time I'm playing this key, I'm going up by 1 in the scale that we've selected. I can go down by 1 with this key. Or by 2 with this key. You can also select another scale, for example, the chromatic scale, and then go up by 1 or down by 2 or whatever you prefer. And then down by 2. If you do a pattern going down by 2 and up by 1, it sounds like this. The pentatonic mode sounds like this. All of these things are things you could do on a regular keyboard. But you can do them with a great speed on my keyboard that would be very difficult to do on a normal keyboard. And then in addition you can change the key and do the same things in a different key without changing any of the fingering. You know, if I were to... that would be a lot harder to do. So, how are you then? I've also added a number of microtonal scales. This is a scale that has 20 notes to the octave. It sounds like this. And if you add the chromatic step, it's actually 40 notes to the octave equal tempered. So that's like, 4 notes in between each of these notes. I've also built in a scale that's sort of an overtone series, a simulation of the overtone series. And we also have a scale that goes out of tune as you go higher. Something else I built into the Samchillian is what I call a tone row feature. What this means is you can start a pattern and the computer remembers which notes you've played and doesn't let you repeat them until all the notes of the scale are used up, or you can stop it early. But in any case, it might sound like this. And now that it's sort of recorded into the machine, we can play it backwards by using the -1 key. Or by twos, we can jump by twos by doing the +2 key. You know, this is creating a pattern of 6 notes because it's every 2. And you know, you can use any of the keys to run through the pattern in a different order or different sequence. There are patterns you can create that are very simple to play using this tone row feature, but sound very complicated. For example, this pattern I'm using 3 fingers on, and I'm getting a very complicated sequence out of it. The instrument is not monophonic, though I tend to use it in that way. For example, you can play chords. You have to play each note individually and kind of strum it as you would a guitar, you know. So I've added a chord feature which allows you to play chords by means of playing a single note. This is equivalent on this keyboard to playing a constant chord. And you have a couple of those on this keyboard. So again, I'm only playing single notes, but 2, 3, 4 notes are coming out. I also have a pitch bend wheel on here, and this is a fairly unusual pitch bend wheel because it's endless, although it doesn't really function after a certain point, but there's no center position. I'd like to explain the lights. They flash different combinations of different colors depending on which note you've played. It's actually the last 3 digits in binary of the MIDI note number. So finally, the display shows what note you're playing and approximately what register you're playing it in. So and you can see when you play quickly it adjusts and shows you. You can also see what type of scale you're playing. 10 notes to the octave, 20, shifto, overtone. So you can change the key that you're playing in by means of these numbered buttons, and they refer to the number of flats that you will be adding to the key signature, which is done relatively as well. So for example, that's in the key of C. If I had to hit 3, I go to E flat because that's 3 flats. If I hit 3 yet again, I'm adding 3 more flats. That brings us to F sharp or G flat. So key changes are relative in addition to key note numbers being relative.